Hey guys, so today we have this. It's a Mastercraft 3-in-1 that was sold at Canadian Tire. I believe this is actually similar to a Craftsman product. As you can see though, it doesn't have an engine. But good thing, I actually have an engine for this. Now the whole story here is the fact that I had gotten this one actually running. I was getting it ready for sale and I was doing a little bit of a cleanup. Well, while I was doing a cleanup, I noticed that there was a lot of debris that was underneath the flywheel. So I removed the flywheel to give it a bit of a cleaning. Then when I was putting it back together, I didn't realize that I had the gun set to full send. And sure enough, it full sent it straight down and split the flywheel right in half. So I've been on the search for another flywheel. This video up here, I scavenged the flywheel from right here. And I'm going to put it on the engine. So I figure I can get this one going. So now I have a deck for another engine if I have another engine, which I'm pretty sure should not be too hard to find. Anyway, let's get into this. Let's get that mower engine put on. Hopefully it starts. If not, we'll give it a quick cleaning and put it back together. But the oil's already done, so we don't have to do an oil change on it. And ever since the oil's been done, it might have maybe 5 or 6 minutes of runtime. All right, let me get the engine and get it put on. All right, there we go. And yeah, as you can see, it's another Tecumseh engine. In fact, it's an LEV 100. Date of manufacture was 1057. So when I read this, I think this most likely 2001. In 2004, that's when they switched to a 5-digit as opposed to a 4-digit year. So this would have probably read 01057. So this, 2001. 163cc LEV 100 engine, 4.5 horse. These are actually half decent engines. As long as they're well maintained, they can last a long time and they have a fair amount of power. All right, let's get this mounted up, which should be 3 9/16 bolts. Let's get those on. Okay, so I've located a few bolts. I've put them in. Now, let's just jack this up so I can run them down. All right, so let's run these down. They should be 9/16. Just move this board out of the way for the time being. Are they 9/16? Are they 1/2 inch? They're 1/2 inch. Of course they are. So let's run these down. These should be 1/2 inch. First one. Second one. Third one. Now I'll give them a couple shots on. There we go. Now let's get this blade on. That should be, I don't know what that should be. Let's make sure it's not a 1/2 inch first. It's 9/16. Okay, so this should be 9/16. Definitely not 1/2 inch. So let's take that off. There. And now we get the blade on. Blade's got a pretty good edge still on it. Let's get the blade on in the right orientation. Now the crank bolt. Why do I feel like I missed the crank bolt? There we go, I got it that time. Don't worry, spark plug wire's off. Okay, so let's tighten that down. So we're gonna set this to full send and put it on. And there we go. It's on. And did you see when it spun? That's why you need to make sure you take the spark plug wire off, just so it doesn't accidentally possibly start. Hit the safety. That's perfect. So that's on. I put copper grease on so the next person that comes along to try it shouldn't have any issue taking it off. As for the oil that's all over this, yeah, it kind of ended up making a mess. when was doing an oil change ages ago. It just hasn't dripped off because I haven't cleaned it off. Okay, so that part's done. We got the blade on, got the engine mounted. So now we need to get this thing outside and get the handlebars on and get it tested. I guess I can bypass the handlebars, but why? It's a real pain to get it started. Let me lower this down. All right. So spark plug wires on this jingling spark plug. That means business. Let's get this thing outside and try it out. Okay, but before we get it outside, we do have to get that flywheel on. So let's quickly take this apart. So I got to pull this gas tank off, get this shroud off, take the oil tube off, and I also noticed a problem. I forgot about this. Good thing I checked the oil, which I don't think there is oil in this, so we'll have to fill this up with oil. But the oil dipstick tube, the seal at the bottom, has come off. That's a problem. So we got to take care of that. So some minor stuff, but let's get that flywheel on. So I'm going to pull this up and take the two 3/8 bolts off at the back. There's no 5/16 at the front. I pulled them off for use on this tiller up here. But I do have two brand new ones, which are going to go into this. All right, let's get started. Gas tank, it's just on two slots, couple of slots back here, which for these. So there's no fuel in here, so I'm just going to move it out of the way. And here we go, the two 3/8. So we're going to pull those off. Let's get these 3/8 off. Okay, we'll lift the shroud up and away. Let's make sure the air filter tube over here comes out from the shroud. There's the flywheel key. So we'll just align the flywheel and the key together. Well, the garbage just fell over. Now when we seat it, it should push it down the rest of the way. So put the starter cup on. Convex washer, as you can see, it's slightly curved. Curve goes up. Now the 3/4 nut. And now I'll set the gun to number 2 setting and run that down. Couple more shots, that should be good. And of course, since we've put a different flywheel, we need to reset the coil gap. So to do that, we need a 1/4 inch. So we take off the coil, 1/4 inch. We're just loosening it. We're not actually taking it right off. Well, that's great news. An election right around the corner to get rid of Trudeau. Woohoo! All right, so now we pull this. Well, let's turn this out of the way first. Then we're going to pull this back, and we're going to take a business card, put it in, and then we roll this back, and you can see it pulled the coil towards it, which is what you want. This creates an air gap. So now we just tighten it down. And that's it. Rotate the flywheel, take out the card, and now we've got a roughly, I think it's 1/10,000th gap, which is what you want, which is perfect. And looking down here, 100%, definitely no oil. So let me get 600 ml of oil, or this many in Freedom units, pour it in there, get the shroud back on with the dipstick tube, and then we'll try to get this thing started. All right, so we got to start with 500 first. No, I haven't replaced the one that broke. I will. There's 500. Hey, look at that, guys. Look what I found. A red subscribe button. If you made it this far into the video, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget, give it a thumbs up. Comment below. I love to read your comments. and I try to reply to as many of them as I can, especially the early ones. All right, guys, back to the video. Oh, I forgot that this is one of these. This is going to be tricky to pour it in there. You think I can do it? Or do you think I'm going to make a mess? I wonder. Well, let's get another camera in here. Okay, here we go. Am I going to make a mess? Let's see. Oh, I haven't yet. I dribbled a little on the side. I know, right? At least there's no seat. I didn't have to lift it. So it's okay if I oh, look at that. Oh no. What happened? What happened? Did you see that? Wow. Just all of a sudden said, no, I'm full, and spit it out at me. Well, that's a good sign. That means it's full. I hope it's not leaking underneath. I'm going to look underneath. No, it's not leaking underneath. So I guess that's it. Guess it still had some oil in. That wasn't so bad though. I caught it in a hurry. I only made a tiny mess. See, now if I had a funnel and I had it all filled up and it was, and that happened, then that would have been even worse, because then I would have had a whole bunch of oil and it would have all come down. That would have been just one nasty mess. But good thing I've got shop towels. And look how nice and shiny it suddenly made this look. It looks like it's brand new again. Look at that. That's nice and shiny because of the oil. Of course, that's just going to dull pretty quick. That's all right. Okay, well, that's done. So let's get the shroud back on. And I can say that, yeah, the oil's full. Just because the oil's full doesn't mean that this engine doesn't take 600 mil of oil. It just means that there was oil in there. As I said, I had done an oil change, but I guess I must have leaked some of the oil out. And as you saw, the seal was not on the stick, so it probably leaked out when I tipped it over a couple times, the engine. And that also will explain a lot where all that oil underneath, where all that oil came from. That would definitely explain it. All right, let's get the shroud on. Okay, so there's the end of the dipstick tube. The seal's now back on. Let's get that back on, back in the engine. Air filter hose now in. I'll pull that over that. Okay. And now, get the dipstick tube in. Pop, pop, pop. Okay, that's good. Let's get those 3/8 in. And now the two new 5/16. So we get the 5/16 socket. Okay, we get the two 5/16 bolts here. Run those in. And two. That's it. Those are on. Okay. Oh, she's pulling around. Flywheel feels good. Oh, this is going to be great. I can't wait to try this thing out. Hopefully it runs and it doesn't become yet another Tecumseh carburetor cleaning video. But hey, I mean, it's not too bad so far. Nice and short and sweet so far. So if it's another carburetor cleaning video, then it draws it out a little bit. What's the rush? Why are you rushing to go? Anyway, let's get the gas tank on. Gas tank's on. Now we'll take it outside, get the handlebars on, and try it out. What the heck? All right, see you soon. Okay, so I've got the handlebar on. I just got to get the bail, and let's get the brake cable on. There we go. Let me grab the bail cable, the bail handle. Okay, the bail cable is now connected. Let's see. It seems a little sticky, probably because it's pinched at one point. I wonder if it's bent. Let's try that again. Nope. Just sticking. Well, I guess without further ado, jingling is connected. So let's put some fuel in, because this should start right up. Ideally, in a perfect world, this would work. Right when I put fuel in and pump it, it goes, oh, I have fuel. I'm going to start now. All right, jingling, don't let me down. Good old Chinese spark plugs. Here goes. This is 2-stroke. That should be enough fuel. Okay, well, here goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Because why not? 15's a good number. It's not round, but it's good. Ah, she runs a little bit out of control. The plot thickens. Let's see why. I'm going to have a peek. All right, so I've bent the idle plate back towards the governor. Let's see if that makes a difference. Okay, that's right. I need to prime it. Just a few times, just a few times. It's okay. All right, let's give it a try again. Definitely racing a little bit out of control there. I think the governor is just sticking a little. Let me try to adjust these linkages and see if that makes a difference. Yeah, it seems to be exactly what the problem is. It seems to be that those linkages are sticking, which means... Is this leaking fuel? Is that gasoline it's leaking? I'm not quite sure. It must be, because the carb bowl is wet. I think it's leaking gasoline, possibly. Maybe not. Well, let me leave it for a few. We'll see. I mean, it does have this pool mark here, almost like it does drip, which is rather interesting. But it does start, and it will run. So the carb is fine. That's what leads me to believe that all it is the linkages are sticking. It's a little late now to really crack into it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to leave it for the morning, and then we're going to take this apart, get that carburetor off, and fix the linkages. They might be crossed. And once we do that, we'll put it back together, and hopefully, problem solved. We'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. See you in the morning. Okay, so let's get this taken apart. Let's take that fuel tank off first. That just lifts up and away. Then I can get a pinch on it. Come here, Mr. Pinch. I am little Mr. Pinch. Oh, hello, little Mr. Pinch. Hello. I still pinch. Pinch. Well, you do pinch. So hold on. Okay. Get the whole Mr. Pinch family. Next, a big Phillips. We should be able to separate this from the engine. Spark plug wire off. Next one. Beauty. So I thought the carb was leaking, but it's not. It's not wet. It seems to be fine. Not sure what all that was, but definitely not leaking now. Okay, is it free? It's free. Right, so let's move this away. Wonder if you guys will see what the problem is. Well, what I think the problem is. Pretty sure it's just the routing of these linkages, and they're sticking open. So let me just adjust the routing, see if that makes if that makes the difference, and we'll try it again. Sometimes that's all it is. There, now behave. Behave. Good. It's sort of behaving. Let's see if that was what the problem was. Good, let's just hold it down for a sec. Need to connect the PCV hose. Take the lid off. Don't need that on right now. There. Now I'll use the lid, I'll attempt to use the lid to try to sort of hold it in place, maybe. There. Just to sort of hold it in place. Now we get the lower Phillips in. Oh, it's threading in perfect. Very nice. And just back this one out a bit. And then in. It was in straight. I just wanted to make sure that everything was good. And it wasn't bound up on anything, which it isn't. Okay, Mr. Pinch, you can let go.
Okay, thank you. Ah, if you need me again, I pinch.
Okay. Make sure this PCV tube's on all the way. Come on, fuel tank. There we go. Fuel tank's on. Let's try it. Hopefully this fixes it. Let me just move the cameras away. Actually, let's just move to a better spot. All right, since it's had a while overnight to settle down and not start, let's try it. 5 pumps, 5 pumps. Oh, did I not put the spark plug on? I did put the spark plug on, but it didn't start. Let's try a few more pumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because reasons. Let's see if it starts now. And yes, there's fuel. I checked. Well, it started, ran, and then died. I don't know, is that a good thing or a bad thing? This mower is confusing me. Let's see. Well, nothing sinister happened in there. Still seems okay. Let's give it a few pumps. Try it again. Yeah, she's definitely still running way too high. And I know exactly why. The spring has been caught up on the throttle plate. Let me fix that. So it'll be fixed in. And okay, there we go. We're ready to go. So let's try it again. I'll give it a few pumps.
8 pumps, and it's likely gonna idle a bit low. Well, I hope. That throttle is sticky. Really sticky. Why is it so sticky? Shouldn't be that sticky, I don't think. Oh, I think... Oh, it's still a little sticky, but I think I've freed it up a bit. Seems to be moving a lot more freely. It sticks a little bit here and there, but I think the engine vibration will probably take care of that. All right. So let's give it a try now. 3rd time's the charm? 4th time? 5th time? I don't know. What are we at now? 7. Is it 7? Maybe it is 7. I didn't think it was that many. Maybe it's 7. Whatever. Whatever time this is, this should be the charm. Let's try it. I wonder if the governor is backward. It's out of adjustment. I think the governor's out of adjustment on this mower. Interesting. I'm pretty sure that's what the problem is. The governor's actually just out of adjustment. I think I need what? A Torx 10 for that? Torx 10? Maybe it's a Torx 10. This is gonna be fun. Okay, let me look up how to adjust the governor on this. Get you guys set up for a better view, and then I guess we'll get the governor adjusted, because I'm not hearing any kind of governor response whatsoever. So I'm almost 100% positive that this governor is just out of alignment, and we need to fix that. So give me a few minutes. I'll find out sort of how to, I guess, how to reset it, and we'll get back to this. All right, see you in a sec. Okay, so you need a Torx 15 for this. So we're gonna loosen this up. And we're going to just slightly adjust that up, and that pushes this forward. And then we're going to tighten it down. And we're going to try it again. Let's give this another try and see if that has slowed down the mower a bit. Right now, before I move it back to the grass and get it all set up so that we can see how it cuts, let's see how it runs first. And then we'll adjust it again if we need to. So a couple primes. Let's try that again. Give it a few primes. Nope, that's still a no. So let's try it a bit more. All right, let's try it again. Hopefully this doesn't break it. Nope, still not there. I also noticed that this was cranked quite a ways in. Let's try it again. Okay. So now I can find a governor response. Interesting. Let's try it again. Let me try something. Let's try that. I'm not saying this will work. I wasn't saying it'll work, but it worked.
All right. Now we're talking. Let's get this up to speed. How to fix that surge. Nope, that carburetor has to come off. It's just not getting quite enough fuel. All right, let's get that carburetor off. All right, guys, carburetor's cleaned. I actually changed it from the carburetor that was on here to the one from this engine, from the one that was blown, that Lawn Boy. Yeah, took the carburetor off that one. I figured, why not? Also, number 2 Robertson, i.e. the Canadian Phillips. Watch this, what happens when I use it on a number 3 Phillips. Look, it sits on. And screws in quite nicely. Apply a good amount of torque and tighten it down. There we go. The metric version of the Phillips. How about that? All right, let's get the gas tank on. Oops, sorry guys. Blocked your view with my knee. Air cover. Right. Let me clean this up. We'll spray this lawnmower down after with that cleaning solution. Just to polish it up a little bit. All right. I guess let's give it a try first. And then we'll take it down to the grass. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll try here quick and then take it down to the grass. So I'll give it a few pumps. I'm going to change that after. Now, this should work. Please work. Please work. Okay, let me increase the RPM a little bit. other than the odd pop and pop, it's not running too bad. I figure, you know what the heck? It's an old unit. That's, it's probably the carburetor. Maybe running through it, who knows. But, what the heck? Let's see how it'll cut some grass. What the heck? It's been a long time coming. All right, well, spark plug wire's on. Oh, now it's not. Now it's on. And it was just running. So I'm going to check the fuel. And I don't think it'll need priming. And then we should just fire it right up and see if it fires up, and see what happens. There should be enough fuel. All right, let's fire it up. Okay, I'll stop doing that. Uh-oh. Hopefully that didn't kill it. I hope not. I don't think so. Oh no. The spark plug wire came off. Ha! That was funny. I thought the engine died, but the spark plug wire got knocked off. That's hilarious. All right, let's try that again. What timing? Beautiful, there we go. Yeah, this might take a little bit longer to sort, at least this part. But other than that little minor hiccup, it actually seems to work pretty darn well. Alright, well, I guess guys, I'll see you in the next one. So how about that, eh? Another safe Tecumseh engine. I mean, other than that little minor issue with this darn bail cable and it sticking a bit, managed to save it. I mean, it only had one tiny little problem. First I thought it was back there in the linkages. Yeah, it wasn't quite the linkages. Turns out the governor needed some adjustment. That wasn't too bad once I figured out how to do it. It was actually fairly simple. Change the carburetor, and I'd like to change this guy because it's a little hard, but whatever, it seems to work. And as far as anything else, well, I would want to change this spark plug to a proper champion, but the jingling did perform and it did not let me down. So, I mean, I'll give it that. At least it worked. So, alright guys. Other than that one nagging issue with the bail, which seems to be a pet peeve of mine with these darn lawnmowers, is I keep seeming to find ones that have bail problems. Oh well. Alright guys, well, I'll see you in the next one. Spark plug off for safety.